Hello and welcome, boys, for another episode of Stump Mic Chat on the IPL. We are going to talk about the opener between Mumbai and RCB. It's not going to be a preview, but more in the insights into the teams. So, just let me introduce to the boys who are here, all from Ireland, playing for different cricket clubs, biggest fans of cricket. Um, a person from basically from Karnataka supporting Mumbai Indians, the two boys supporting CSK, generally supporting RCB today. So that's Krit, Vishal, and Siddharth. Hi, guys.
Well,
Hey, how are
well,
you
I
doing?
was born in Mumbai, so I have reasons to support Mumbai.
Yeah.
Just to clarify.
Yeah. So finally, the day is here. Tomorrow, the big opener is happening. So we will talk about the champions first, maybe. I'll give our views about the Mumbai Indians. So what do you think about the squad, Krit?
I think we have a really strong squad. Since last year's IPL win, we have got a really core foundation. And I don't really think they're going to deviate too much from it. Like with the openers, they're going to keep going on with Quinton de Kock and Rohit. Maybe they might change around a bit, but I think I see the squad being the same for the most part, except for the departure of James Pattinson. But they'll have a few options with like Jimmy Neesham and maybe even Adam Milne, the two Kiwis that come into the squad.
Good. Yeah. So, but let's talk about the openers. Is Quinton de Kock there already? Is he in Mumbai? Or is he playing the opener?
Yeah, I think he is. I'm not too sure, but I'm pretty sure he would be.
So he was in South
Africa. I'm pretty sure he would be opening.
He may not be ready for with the bio bubble and all. I'm not very sure. So
yeah, maybe.
Yeah. So and pretty much the batting is fixed for Mumbai Indians, right? Even the bowling is fixed. Is there any places left for anybody? There are a few new good selections in the auctions.
Yeah, we've been very strategic in the auctions. We've kept the core squad, obviously. But there's we've got Jimmy Neesham. He's a really handy. We've got him from Kings 11 Punjab. He's handy with both the bat and the ball. And I feel like he's very underrated. But I don't know if he's going to get much of a chance because, again, the core squad is pretty strong with the 4 overseas slots will probably be taken by Pollard, Bolt, Quinton de Kock, and one other maybe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's why Jimmy Neesham tweeted earlier. I think he may not be playing any of the games, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah. I think I saw that. He is really funny on Twitter as well. So,
so do you guys think the RCB supporters today? Do you guys think Mumbai is too strong for RCB?
I wouldn't say too strong. But Mumbai Indians, they're always going to be favourites. Like Krit said, their core squad, it's unbelievable. Pandya brothers, Rohit Sharma, they're so much firepower. But I reckon RCB can give them a good fight tomorrow.
But something you guys are forgetting, mainly Krit, you are forgetting. What is the history with Mumbai generally on the first game?
Oh, we don't talk about it. there's a lot of history, but traditions are meant to be broken.
So you are hoping for a win tomorrow?
Obviously, as a supporter, I'm hoping for a win. But even if we don't win, I'm not worried. As a fan,
if you're not winning, you are even more not worried. I think they'll be able to.
Yeah. Such as the luck we have.
Yeah.
We lose the first 3 matches and somehow win the title. So I don't know how what happens.
Yeah. Okay, so we'll talk a little bit about RCB. How are we doing with the squad for RCB? Any exciting new buys this season?
There is Mohammed Azadeen. He's a quick firing batsman for Kerala. He did really well in the domestic season so far. And there is Patakali that is already playing in the IPL from last season. I'd say Mohamed Arzadine would be the player to look out for in this year's IPL if he gets a chance to play for RCB.
We obviously can't forget the big money buy of Glenn Maxwell. Always seems to get the big bucks in the IPL. So maybe this year might be his season.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was going to ask that question, exact same question. What does Maxwell do? Does he fit into the 11 in the first place?
I think he has to play in the 11. You can't pay 15 odd crores for a big overseas player and have him sit on the bench. It doesn't make sense. So I think he plays in the middle order, maybe 4 or 5 just behind De Villiers.
Okay, who are the foreign players in the 11?
I think probably Maxwell will certainly play in De Villiers. And then Kyle Jamieson, once again, big money buy, tall New Zealand fast bowler. He's good. He's done well for New Zealand, so I think they have to give him a chance.
Mm-hmm.
And then the 4th spot, I think, is probably between Dan Christian. He's obviously Knott's captain in the T20 Plus, sorry.
Mm-hmm.
So he's good, experienced overseas player. So they'll give him a couple games. And then possibly another Adam Zampa as well, because they're playing their first couple games in Chennai, right? So they'll need a decent spinner on those slow turning pitches.
And Christian's actually really good.
Adam Zampa, will he fit in if Chahal is there, because you already have Chahal there?
I think in the first couple of games you can go with the 2 spinners, even though they're quite similar. You can on Chennai obviously can never have enough spinners.
Okay, and what is the rest of the bowling attack? Who's going to be?
Raj will be there. Abid Fani will be there. Chahal will be there.
And Christian can bowl as well.
Yeah.
He's actually he's a bit underrated, I'd say, because he's actually won a lot of titles in T20 leagues. Like with the Knots, he's won the T20 Plus. And I'm pretty sure he's Dan Christian. He's Australian.
Okay.
And he's won the Big Bash as well with Melbourne Renegades, I believe. So he's a good asset to have because he's got the experience of winning trophies, and I think RCB needs that experience of winning trophies.
Yeah, that's very true. Dan Christian is criminally underrated.
What about this new replacement we have got for RCB, Finn Allen?
I heard he's good in domestic.
For me, RCB looks a very unsettled team. Compared to Mumbai,
I think, yeah, that's the key difference between both sides. Obviously, Mumbai's been settled for the last couple of years. They have the strong 8 or 9 core players, whereas RCB, you could pick maybe 2 or 3 11s and still not know which your best team is. So they need to find their best team early in the tournament and stick with it.
Yeah, they have a lot of good buys, but they have been doing year on year and they have been having big names there, but what's stopping them winning the title, do you think?
Not having a core team, not sticking to the same players for free. They're not having belief in the same players and dropping the players that have been not performing for them, that have been performing for the other team after they dropped them.
I agree with Siddharth there. The chopping and changing, it hasn't helped them at all. And you can see these players they're buying the correct players because you can see their performing seasons with other clubs. But they just need to give them some confidence, stick with them, and they will come good.
Yeah, Brendan McCullum and Chris Gayle were prime examples for that, right? They went to CSK and yeah. That's the history. So what's the opening like? I was a bit surprised with the openers. Number of openers they have, RCB.
I feel like they'll go with Virat Kohli, obviously, and Padikali or Arzadine. If Padikali's fit enough to play for the first game.
Okay. I thought there are more openers than that. They have many more openers in the team.
There is, I believe, like Finn Allen. I think he opened in the
Yeah.
series against Bangladesh. He scored 70 off 30 odd balls, so he can open. Obviously, there's the clips of Washington Sunder's dad saying he believes he can open as well for India. So you never know. Maybe Kohli might give Washington
Yeah.
a couple of games at the top of the order. But I think Kohli, him opening in the last T20 was a foreshadowing of what's going to come in the IPL. I think he will open the majority of the tournament. He has to open.
Right. So that's a good chat about the squad. Okay, let us move on. Before we move on, okay, I will have a few quiz questions, right? So mainly for the audience, we'll talk about the answers at the end of things. So I just want to ask a couple of questions on RCB. Who are the most run getters for RCB in 2020 and the most wicket takers? Keep thinking about it. We'll talk about the answers. Okay. So I'll come back to Mumbai a bit. There are a couple of names I want to talk about. Arjun Tendulkar, does he fit in anywhere?
Honestly, I don't think he's fitting in anywhere. Like, he was bought for his base price, and he was more of an afterthought. You know, like it's kind of like, you know, we have legends such in our team, so we kind of had to have the son as well. Like, I don't really know how he plays, so I can't really comment too much on his playing performance. But like, I don't really see him getting that much of a chance, considering of the strength of the main team already.
Mm-hmm. And what about this legend bowler who they bought from CSK, Piyush Chawla?
Legend bowler. Wow. I see he won't even because Rahul Chahar and Krunal Pandya is probably the main spin option. I think he'll get a couple of matches depending on which pitches they play on, but I think they'll stick to Chahar and Pandya for their spin options.
And yeah, I heard 3 names on the foreign players: Quinton de Kock, Trent Bolt, and Karen Pollard. Who's the 4th one?
Well, it could be there's a couple of different options available. Like, there's obviously I've talked about Jimmy Neesham before, both handy with the bat and ball, and there's also Coulter. He could be slowing in with the bowling attack, also kind of handy with the bat, as we saw in his 92 in the World Cup 2 years ago for Australia. Yeah. But that's the only. There's also a young prospect called Marco Janssen, he's also an all-rounder from South Africa. But I don't really know how he plays. But I just know that he's a left-arm seamer, and I kind of have a soft spot for left-arm seamers, considering I am one. So I don't know. I think Jimmy Neesham probably will get a shot.
You already have Trent Bolt for the left-arm, right?
Yeah, I know. That's why he probably. But he's an all-rounder, so it could be a good batting option. But I probably see for the 4th option, probably could be Jimmy, even Adam Milne. I forgot to mention he's another Kiwi, another bowler, a bit of experience in there. But it's probably going to be Jimmy Neesham if they have to have 4 overseas.
That's great. Moving on. So the same question for Mumbai. Who are the most run getters or the highest run getter and the highest wicket taker for Mumbai in 2020? So that's the question. So let's see. Okay, let's move on. So we want to talk about the specific 11. I just want to give a list of specific 11 for each team for tomorrow. So whom do we start with? RCB. Who will be the playing 11 for tomorrow? Your predicted 11. That's from the fans' point. Can you go ahead, Vishal, for the top order?
I think Virat and Paddy Gill will certainly open. I think that's who they'll start off with, top the order. And I'm hearing, I don't know much about Mohammad Azharuddin, but I'm hearing that he's highly rated and he quick fire batter, as you're saying, Siddharth. So I think they'll go with him at number 3, and then AB Maxwell, your big finishers in the middle order. Washington at 6, good all-rounder, and he offers a bit with the bat. So I think your top 6, that's quite that's as settled as you're going to get with RCB. So
Mm.
then the further, like where do you go from here? So they're
Yeah.
playing in Chennai, right? The first game. So,
Probably have Kyle Jameson at number 7.
Kyle Jameson number, yeah, that's true. So
And then,
that's three overseas, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
And they might get an extra foreign spinner just because of it's Chennai.
So Zampa Chahal, they'll play as 2 spinners with Washington.
Oh, yeah. Right.
And then Saini and Siraj. There you go. I think there's a good balance in that team. They might be a bit light on the batting, but I think to cope with Mumbai's batting, you need the extra bowling options.
Oh yes, yeah. Good. That's a good lineup actually. Even though there are more sitting on the bench, so it is very early stage at this point because every team will be trying to find their best 11 at the beginning, isn't it? Great. Okay, with that, I have another question. A quiz question. Who is the leading run getter on the entire IPL as a whole? It's a simple, straightforward answer. Let's wait for the end anyway. Okay, so 11 for Mumbai.
Well, I think we're going to open as usual with probably Quinton de Kock and Rohit Sharma. And one down is most likely going to be Surya Kumar Yadav, or maybe even Ishan Kishan. They might switch up. And then middle order is probably just going to be the usual Hardik, Krunal Pandya, and Pollard. And then, the usual, there's going to be Rahul Chahar as a spin option. And Trent Boult, and probably for the bowling, it could be Nathan Coulter now.
What about Bumrah? Boom.
Oh yeah, forgot about Boom. Yeah, obviously Bumrah. Can't believe I forgot the main man himself.
Yeah.
Notice how much easier it is for him to pick his predicted 11.
Yeah, it's not going to change. There's not going to be many surprises, isn't it? The only change could be the Nathan Coulter in 9.
Yeah.
Or as a fan, do you expect somebody to be picked, or do you want somebody to be picked in the team to be tried in the initial stages?
Initially, well, not particularly, but I think there's Jimmy Neesham. I would want to see him play, and I would also want to see Dhaval Kulkarni. He's been really successful in previous IPL editions, especially for the Rajasthan Royals in a couple of years. And I think he could be a really handy option.
I would ask the same question to you also, the RCB guys. Do you guys like to see somebody in the playing 11?
I would like to see KS Bharat, the Karnataka batsman, the big keeper batsman.
He's a wicket-keeper batsman, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think I'd like to see Mohammad Azharuddin, see what all the hype is about him, because he seems like he offers a lot. I think he keeps as well. So if AB's back doesn't hold up, I think he'll probably take over the gloves. So I'd like to see how he fares in the big league.
I have a couple of more quiz questions. Who has hit most number of sixes among all teams in 2020? So final word from the RCB. What are the chances of winning tomorrow?
I think we have a good chance tomorrow. Obviously, Mumbai's history in the first game, usually not as strong. New season, so fresh beginnings as well for both teams. So I think RCB have a good chance as well. Kohli's in pretty decent form. So yeah, I think they have a good chance tomorrow.
And where do you think RCB will end up this season in the table?
4th or 3rd, depending on how they do. They'll qualify, mate.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't think they'll reach it to the title.
So the slogan doesn't stand good this year either.
Inshallah Cup Namde.
Yeah.
No, it
I
does.
think it's
but
very difficult to look past Mumbai Indians for the title once again. It hurts me to say it, but it's whichever team does win it, they'll be deserving. As long as
Good. Good. Yeah. So that means Chris doesn't have to say anything there about Mumbai.
I mean, Inshallah Cup Namde has the same feeling as see you at the Gabba Ash, you know? It just doesn't work out for RCB.
Yeah.
Famous
So,
last words.
so I will take as your stand for Mumbai is they're finishing in the top and they're winning tomorrow.
I hope they win tomorrow. But as tradition goes, it doesn't look likely, but we'll hope. But I think they'll definitely make it to the playoffs. Like winning again is possible, but like they'll definitely make it to the playoffs. We've got a strong team. Like I don't want to brag or anything, but I think they're the team to beat.
Yeah, 100%.
Great. Okay. With that, we come to the conclusion. I'm just going to give you the answers for the quiz before we finish. So maybe you guys can try to answer first before I give the answers. Who scored most runs for RCB in 2020?
Padigal, wasn't it?
Yeah, I thought Padigal as well.
Yeah, it is Padigal indeed. 473 runs. And he's the leading run scorer, not by many runs. Know who is on second?
is it Virat?
Quinton de Kock.
No, for RCB, I mean.
Virat.
Oh,
AB, memory serves me right.
No. AB is on third with
Virat.
with 454, 19 runs difference between Padikkal and him. There is a person second.
It's Virat Kohli, isn't it?
Yeah, it is Virat Kohli. Is just 7 runs short of that. So, and who has the most wickets in 2020 for RCB?
Chahal.
Child, yeah.
Yeah, Chahal
Yeah.
he has 21 wickets. Moving on to the next question. Who is the highest run getter for Mumbai in 2020?
Quinton de Kock.
Quinton de Kock.
He is second on the list with 503 runs. And
Ishan Kishan.
Ishan Kishan with 516 runs is top. Again, there's not much difference between the top three for Mumbai: 516, 503, and 480.
They all had a good season.
Yeah. But there is a difference in the highest wicket taker for Mumbai in 2020, though. Who's the highest wicket taker?
Trent Bolt?
No,
Bumrah.
it is Bumrah. Bolt is second. They have 27 and 25 wickets each, respectively. So they are the second and third among all teams for highest wicket takers. So that is the reason they won last year.
It's a well-oiled bowling attack.
Yeah.
And so the easiest question: who was the all-time leading run scorer in IPL?
Virat Kohli.
Yeah. Virat Kohli.
Kohli, yeah, he has 5,878 runs. Who hit most number of sixes last year?
Rahul Tatia.
That's a wild guess.
Yeah. Chris Gale?
He wasn't playing this one.
I'll give you a hint. It is one of the players who will be playing tomorrow.
Oh.
Ishan Kishan.
It's Ishan Kishan, yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So with that, we come to the end of this show. Thank you, guys.
No problem.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.